Let's talk about codependence. I'm Colette Revere, founder of 8 Kind Co and Open 360. I'm a former mental health therapist, and I've worked with organizations for the past decade, helping them build psychologically healthy versions of people's systems like performance management, succession management. Something that I've noticed literally in every organization that I've worked with at some degree or another is this corporate codependence. And what defines codependence is really a hyper focus on controlling someone else's behavior. Essentially, a focus on controlling something that you actually can't control. You can influence, but not control. And so people who are codependent tend to have kind of these internal silent agreements that if I do this for you, you're going to do this for me. Even though nothing has been said out loud or there's no actual shared agreement. But in my mind, if I do this for you, then when I need something, you're going to do something for me. Well, this kind of codependence shows up in the workplace when we're talking about performance. And so if you've had, as a leader, repeated conversations with the same person over and over and over again about improving their performance, about how they need to develop, and you're not seeing any action, or you're not seeing what you need to see for the person to really be fulfilling their role, then if you haven't made some changes, then you are probably in this codependent cycle. Because in reality, you cannot change another adult's behavior or choices, but what you do have is control over your own. So you can choose whether the person remains on your team, you can choose whether they remain in your organization, you can choose what kind of projects you put them on, what kind of role they're in, but you do not get to choose whether or not they improve in their role. They get to choose that. And if they have shown you over and over again that they're choosing to do something other than what it is that you want, it's time to admit that you've got some wishful thinking going on, and that in order to make the change that you need to see to move forward for your team and for your organization, you have to take responsibility for what you have control over. Easier said than done. There are lots of reasons why people stay in this codependent cycle, and one of them is when you take responsibility for your own power, for the things that you do have control over, you also take responsibility for the consequences of those choices. So you might make a mistake, because you will make a mistake, because we all do. And you might do something that somebody else doesn't agree with and has an emotional reaction to, or has bad behavior as a reaction to. Those are things you can't control. What you can control is what's in your wheelhouse and what you do. So if you find that you're having trouble holding people accountable and keeping people accountable, check yourself on this corporate codependence scale and see if this is an issue for you. If it is, you're in great company. And the good news is really recognizing that this is the cycle that's happening is the start to really having an impact and really doing better. Because to be honest, once you recognize it, it's going to become a lot more painful to consciously do it. So that's the start of making some more positive, productive choices for you. Thank you for listening. I'd love to know what you think in your comments, and talk soon.